All right, we're on. We're on.
What's up, everybody? What's going on?
All right, it's time. It's time. It's an exciting week in the world of professional wrestling.
It really
It's
is. A lot of it is
slash sports entertainment.
sports entertainment.
I gotta give a shout out to the Jericho Appreciation Society because
Yes.
they're all about that sports entertainment.
I love what they're doing. They are setting up professional wrestling and doing a Will Smith to it right now. That's what we're doing.
Keep my wife's name. We'll stop right there.
Out
We'll stop
your
right.
bleep.
Bleeping mouth.
Yeah, we need Kofi for that to have his little
Oh yeah. Oh yes. It is. If you're watching right now and you don't know about professional wrestling, WWE, Wrestlemania, you can still watch. We're
Yeah.
still having a good time.
Still having a good
We're
time.
still having a good time. You could chill with us. What's up, Deb? What's up, Luke? On my end, are you on your end too?
I am on my end too. This is the first doing like a collaboration live stream. So yeah.
Yes, absolutely. We're here because Dennis and I are big wrestling fans, and this is a big wrestling week with WrestleMania coming up. Stupendous, Dennis. It is going to be. It is the most stupendous WrestleMania.
Two
Nights. I mean, my gosh. So we gotta talk about it. We got to do our prediction show.
Exactly.
And so I'm looking here, making sure I'm
We've been
still
talking
going
about doing
good.
this. We've been talking about doing this for a while. You look good on my side from what I can see.
Okay, good deal. Yeah, we've been talking about doing this for a while, and WrestleMania is just the perfect chance to get it going. But
Agreed.
there's a lot of matches played. Dennis, do you have a favorite WrestleMania match, WrestleMania moment?
Of all time?
Yeah.
Oh man. I'm gonna go. What's up, Dysfunctional TV? How you doing, brother? Thank you for jumping on. He's gonna be the next one at 100K.
Hey,
Um,
and congratulations to Dennis, everybody, for getting to 100K a couple of nights ago.
yes.
My goodness gracious, the silver play button's on the way.
It's on the way. Probably my favorite WrestleMania moment comes from WrestleMania 4, and I believe it's when Macho Man beat the $1 Million Man to win his first WWF WrestleMania.
Oh, yeah?
I think
Wow.
I think that's probably my favorite one because he was the underdog. You know, we were in the
Yeah.
in the Hogan era, and then it was giving Macho Man his first big push after he had the program with the IC belt for so long. So yeah,
Yep.
that's probably it. What is yours?
It didn't have any like really good matches on it, this WrestleMania, but I will always love, I remember watching as a kid, the night in Boston when Steve Austin beat HBK for the WWE title. That's a fond memory of mine because I mean that was in the middle of the Monday Night War. You could like feel
Oh yeah,
everything shifted that night. Like you could feel that like WWE was about to wipe the floor. Sorry, WWF was about to wipe the floor with WCW after Austin had, because WCW I think had just months ago before that botched the Sting Hogan thing where they both wasted opportunity, bunch of idiots running that company.
yeah.
But yeah, you could just feel that night, man, that was like a big deal. But in more recent memory, I loved years ago when Rollins cashed in the briefcase in the main event. I thought that was great.
between Brock and Roman, right?
Yes, and now maybe he'll do it again this weekend. And then Daniel Bryan's run up to the WrestleMania 30 was great.
That was big. That was big.
Yes, the Hardys when they came back years ago at that WrestleMania. Of course, match-wise, that Shawn Michaels and the Undertaker from those two WrestleManias,
Tore the roof off of it.
Oh my gosh, that was insanity. But anyway, we're here to talk about this WrestleMania. And you know what, Dennis? I don't know if anybody's going to care don't know if anybody's going to care about this live stream, but we do. That's all that matters. That's all that matters. So we're going with this, and there's 2 nights, so we got to get to it. I will say tonight, though, is the Hall of Fame. And the Undertaker is going in to the Hall of Fame tonight. My goodness gracious.
What a career, man.
Oh, gosh.
Career.
Geez. And he came from the era where, like, the guys retired young. Like, they got out of the business young. And he's just now stopped wrestling.
Yeah.
I mean, he just kept on going. Now, I was always worried about him hanging on too long, and he almost hung on too long.
Goldberg almost cut him off. He almost cut him off real quick.
Yeah, he almost ended his life, not just his career. He almost killed him. But yeah, man, what a career. Who else is going in tonight? The Steiners.
Oh, yeah, Rick and Scott Steiner. That's really cool.
Insanity that they're not in yet with some of these people they've put in before. Vader.
It's time. It's
Vader's
time.
Vader's going in. I love Vader.
Officially Vader time.
I you know what is really sad? You know, he had health issues in the last couple of years of his life.
Yeah.
And everybody was trying to get them to put him in the Hall of Fame while he was still with us, so that he could actually be there, and they didn't.
Yeah, get his flowers while he's still alive. Yeah.
Yeah, and now he's gone, and now I'm like, come on, man.
Yeah, same thing happened to China when she got in with DX, man. Like,
well, we all know what that was about.
Yeah, we know what that was about. Couple things here. Dysfunctional TV said that the NWO versus DX thing, like, it was dope that it happened, but it happened too late. And
you mean at that Triple H Sting match?
And they should have put Sting.
Yeah,
they should have put Sting.
I say that. I said they should have, because Sting's like top 5 for me. I love Sting. I think that they should have put him over. I thought the DX NWO thing was a cool thing to do, just because, you know, they probably needed that. Well, that, and they needed something to kind of, you know, Sting and Triple H not going to go in there and have a 5-star classic.
Yeah, it furthered the storyline. It was more the storytelling part of it.
Yeah. Let's knock out this WrestleMania. Let's make some picks.
CC says hello from Germany, and Caleb says hello from your living room. Hey, son, love you. So what do we have night 1?
Night 1, here we go. All right, listen, we got the Usos, because they've been down since day 1-ish. They are defending the tag titles, which they've held for a long time. They've been champions for a long time.
Yeah.
They're a great team, though. They're defending against Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boogs for the
Nakamura. They're the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, right?
This is for the SmackDown tag titles. Now, Rick Boogs, I like this Rick Boogs. He looks like a buffed up Freddie Mercury. Have you seen this guy? He's got the short hair with the mustache. And he's a monster. Plays the guitar.
So I've seen him just a little bit. You know, WWE is not primarily what I watch. We know that. I'm more of I'm the other guy. We'll keep this, but I know him a little bit. Very familiar with Shinsuke Nakamura.
Yes. Now Rick Boogs, he was like the manager, or like this guy who came out with Nakamura, and now he's wrestling. And he's a pretty strong dude. He does some impressive stuff.
Okay.
I think Nakamura and Boogs, I think you give him the titles here, man. Nakamura, he's too good to have him out there just roaming around with nothing to do. Give him a tag team title with Boogs here. The Usos, they'll be fine either way. They're with Roman, so I mean they're gonna be a big deal no matter what. I say I'd like to see Nakamura and Boogs get the win here.
I would agree with you on what I would want to see, but from a wrestling standpoint, I believe that this is going to be a WrestleMania that keeps the belts at the table. So I'm going to say that the Usos successfully defend on this one.
I wouldn't be mad if the Usos. I like the Usos. I think the Usos are probably the best tag team WWE has had in a while, in my opinion, man. They consistently put on good matches out there. So I like the Usos, but I think Nakamura and Boogs, they need something.
Nakamura needs something, that's for sure.
Yeah, the fans like Nakamura and Boogs, so I say put it on them, but we'll see. How about another tag match for night one?
What do we have?
We got Rey and Dominic Mysterio. This is Dominic's WrestleMania debut, I believe.
WrestleMania debut.
And he gets the honor of going against Logan Paul and The Miz.
The Miz. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, now if you want to talk about bringing in celebrities who are just going to be natural born heels that everybody hates, Logan Paul is a good choice.
He's the top of the food chain. Him and his brother.
And it also gives hope that if these people who start as YouTubers ultimately make it to WrestleMania, we could very well, Dennis, years from now. It could be us. It could be us versus the Mysterios.
That would be awesome. I'll take a 619 from Ray any day.
Yeah, you know what? As the great Razor Ramon used to tell people backstage, I love your finisher and I can't wait to kick out of it. That's what I tell Ray. I think the Mysterios are probably going to win because anytime they bring in the celebrity heel person, they're usually going to lose because Logan Paul's going to leave afterwards, and Miz always has a way of recovering. He can come out and blame the loss on Logan Paul. Logan Paul can take the fall. The build up to this, they've kind of kept nobody's laid a hand on Logan Paul yet. So they're kind of building up to when Logan Paul finally gets his at WrestleMania. So I think Mysterio's win this one.
Agreed. I agree with you. If there is anybody who shows resiliency, who can improve their stock while taking a loss, it is The Miz, for sure.
You can say whatever you want about him, but the guy just always he always finds himself there, and he always makes you care. His promos always get you invested.
Oh, his promo, he's top 10 promo all time. He's good.
Yes. So we both got the Mysterios there, correct?
Correct, yes.
We differed on the first one, but we all agree. Now, this next match, I'm actually looking forward to this because I feel like the build to this one's actually been really good, and I like both of these. It's Becky Lynch, Bianca Belair for the Raw Women's title. Now, did you see the other night they cut Becky's hair?
Becky's hair, yes. The man got a haircut, yes.
Yes, and I know when Becky came back, nobody wanted her to be a heel, and they probably shouldn't have turned her so soon. But I think she's been great. She is one of those. She's one of the few acts on WWE that comes out and you're like, man, this is a big star right here. This girl is a big, and I love Bianca. I think Bianca is one of the better baby faces they've had in a long time. She is so likable and easy to cheer for. And I actually think, I know you don't watch the product every week, but they've done a good job building this because this has been building since August.
Yeah,
I mean, they have actually
SummerSlam, yeah.
Yeah, this is as close to long-term booking as they're ever going to do.
Yeah.
So other than Brock and Roman, which we know they're going to put all their best foot forward on that, but I love the story. I think this is the right match to do. I think Bianca should win because Becky's going to be fine either way. She's going to be able to,
she's the man.
Yeah, she's going to be a big star no matter what happens. I fear that if Bianca loses, she's just going to fade into the oblivion for the next year, and she's going to get Oscar'd.
Yeah, back to NXT 2.0.
Yeah. Or like she'll be managing the Street Profits or something, because her husband's with them.
Yeah.
I would like to see Bianca win this one. I think that's the appropriate because sometimes WWE, sometimes it's okay. It's okay for the good guys to win sometimes.
Yes, I agree with you. I think night one that we see Bianca Belair upset Becky Lynch. She leaves with the belt and the long ponytail.
Yes, I say Bianca. I got Bianca here. Now I will say, taking a break from making picks here, Dennis. There's this person. I mean, listen, I admire people that are confident in themselves. There's this person that comments on my videos. He's in the chat right now. His username is Cody Awesome Husband and Skyanne Beautiful Wife. Cody is confident in himself, man.
Yes.
He is an awesome husband, and he knows it. He puts it, and Skyanne is confident too because she put beautiful wife in the name. Like, but they said hello, so hello to you. Deb said, "I'm from the era when I was a kid. Dick the Bruiser was a big deal."
Ooh, you went back with that.
Yes,
you went back with that.
And then Luke Walker said, I think Logan Paul should stick to making music and YouTube videos. Can we just say YouTube videos and just take music out of it?
Yeah.
Can we?
If we're going to give him a second thing, I do like seeing him box. Like, you know, I think Jake is better than Logan, but I do like seeing Logan box because he puts in a lot of time. So YouTube videos and boxing. Yeah.
You got any interesting comments on your side, Dennis?
Nelly 1994, my favorite WrestleMania moment.
Nelly is
Nelly 1994. My favorite WrestleMania moment is WrestleMania 20. Only because they were there in person, 10 years old at the time. Still remember every match that happened on the card, and of course the ending. I do not remember the ending of WrestleMania.
I do.
What is it?
This was a very great triple threat match between Triple H and Shawn Michaels and a person who we do not talk about anymore. And I'm not talking about Bruno. I'm talking about.
I was about to say Bruno.
No, this was a man who did a terrible thing.
Oh, that fella.
Yes,
and he won, right?
He won. It was an all-time great moment until he ruined it years later.
Gotcha.
Yeah, uncomfortable to talk about, but it was a phenomenal match. If you can disconnect, you know, who he was then with who he ended up being.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic match with a great ending, but a lot of people can't disconnect the two, and I understand that.
Of course.
But that was a good WrestleMania though. Good for that person for being at that WrestleMania.
Shout out to Nelly.
Yeah, I was at the WrestleMania in Atlanta where the Miz main evented. But it was worth it because Triple H and Undertaker had a great match that night. My goodness, the best match I've ever seen live.
That's the night where HBK came out and the three of them did like a curtain call moment, right?
That was the next year. This was the year before that. So this was the big moment from this match is where Triple H hit the Undertaker with the tombstone, and people legitimately thought it was over. And Undertaker kicked out, and the place went.
It probably erupted.
Berserk. This was in the Georgia Dome. We missed the Georgia Dome. All right, we better keep going here. So we both got. Did we say we both had Bianca winning the belt here?
Yeah.
All right, here you go. We talked a little bit about this before we went live. It's Happy Corbin versus Drew McIntyre. Man, poor Drew. Drew was in position to like be that guy, and then COVID and empty buildings.
Yeah.
It just got, and then like I thought when the fans came back, they were going to just pick up where they left off and keep going. Dude, he hadn't sniffed the main event since the fans came back.
He has fallen victim to Vince's mind change and going in a different direction, and he's got to work over Happy Corbin, and I'm not a Baron Corbin fan at all.
No, I'm sure. I mean, he's obviously like Corbin. He works hard. I mean, it's not about that. It's just like
his gimmicks have been garbage.
Yeah. Drew's. I still think at some point once, because surely Brock's going to go away for a period of time soon. I don't know if it'd be immediately after WrestleMania, but eventually. I still think they'll work their way back around to Drew being a main eventer. So I think Drew's going to win. You cannot have this dude lose to Corbin. at WrestleMania. I'm sorry. He don't need to be buried that bad. I'm going with Drew McIntyre. But I do want to say, before you give your prediction here, is it not the most, I know it's professional wrestling and you got to suspend your disbelief sometimes, but I cannot get past the fact that Drew McIntyre comes out here every week with this humongous sword.
A huge
and like swings it at people.
Yes.
Like he's trying to murder somebody
and never
on
gets
national.
DQ'd.
Never gets DQ'd.
Never gets DQ'd.
And the announcers are like, "Oh man, Drew's going after him." I'm like, he's trying to commit murder.
Yes.
If he connects with that thing, this guy's head's getting chopped off. Yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
No. I agree with everything that you're saying there. Drew McIntyre wins this 8-minute mark. They're not even going to go 10 minutes.
I could see it being a squash.
A squash, maybe.
Just put him over big. Yeah.
8 minutes max. Happy Corbin's going to go in there and do his stuff that he does, and Baron Corbin, he's whatever. Drew McIntyre.
Well, you know they're building to Corbin's buddy, his sidekick, turning on him, or he's going to turn on his sidekick. So I'm sure it'll be something like that, like his sidekick messes him up,
him somehow, or doesn't come in, and then there'll be a fallout from that on Raw the next night or something. Or are they on SmackDown or Raw? I can't remember which one.
They're on SmackDown, I think, but they're you know how that is. They're on everything.
Yeah.
There's 3 tag matches on night 1. Good Lord. The third one, this is a new match added. This kind of sucks because this was supposed to be the New Day getting back together for their first 6-man tag to go against Ridge Holland, Sheamus, and Butch. Or as we know as Pete Dunne.
Yeah.
But obviously, Big E had a terrible injury, so he's out. So now it's just a tag match, and Butch got kicked out of the match. He's the one that got kicked out.
Butch is gone.
It's Kofi and Xavier versus Ridge Holland and Sheamus. This is going to be a match nobody cares about. I'm sorry. I love all these guys. They're great, but ain't nobody going to care about this match. Agreed. I'll say, I don't know. Give me Kofi and Xavier, I guess.
Yeah. New Day rocks for sure on this.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that Big E make an appearance, even though he won't be able to do anything. Maybe he can do a distraction or something. But I'll go Kofi and Xavier.
That'd be a big pop if he was able to be there in some fashion, some form to cause distraction and let, I know, maybe King Xavier do that. But yeah, definitely New Day rocks in this one. Poor Sheamus, he just keeps. He's not where he was, but he does make lemonade out of the lemons he gets.
Yeah, kudos to Sheamus for the longevity though. This dude looks the exact same as he did when he started.
How do you go so long with never getting a tan? How do you avoid the sun that long?
I mean, how you've been in America this long and you still can't get no sun?
Yeah, still as white as you used to be. That's great.
Yeah, here we go. Charlotte and Ronda Rousey for the SmackDown Women's title. Now, I feel like they've tried really hard to build this thing up.
They've tried.
I feel like Becky and Bianca's build has been better. Mm-hmm. I feel like people are more invested in the Becky and Bianca match. But with that being said, Ronda Rousey, first Charlotte always delivers in big matches. She always puts on the best matches on the biggest stages like this. And Ronda, I mean, every time she's ever been doubted as being able to go out there and have a good match, she always does.
She's a good worker.
So I'm sure people will end up getting into this once it gets out there in the ring. The build probably hasn't gone as well as they had hoped. It hadn't been bad, but it just hadn't been like a home run or anything.
Yeah.
I think Ronda's going to win. I think Ronda's going to win the belt. I think that I could honestly see them doing the same thing with Ronda that they did a few years ago. I think Ronda wins the belt and just keeps it all the way until Mania next year and then wrestles Becky at WrestleMania next year. because I think they want to do that match next year. So I think Ronda wins. Charlotte will be fine. She's already won the title like more times than her dad. So
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm gonna go with Ronda here.
I agree. I believe Ronda wins. I think she will somewhat thrash Charlotte Flair. It will. They'll let it hang for a little bit because Charlotte's going to be the one that has to do a lot of the psychology and the storytelling. But when it gets to the brutal violence that will happen, we'll see Rousey at that point just destroy Charlotte. I think she keeps the belt for storytelling. I think she keeps the belt until Royal Rumble. In some way, she loses the belt at Royal Rumble, but then wins the Royal Rumble match again somehow. And then her and Becky go to WrestleMania next year for that. I can see that. I can see the storytelling. That's kind of WWE storytelling there.
Yeah, it's a little more complicated than you'd like, but Luke Walker wants to know, do you think Undertaker should go back to being a wrestler? Absolutely not
at this point.
No, absolutely not. Let him enjoy retirement.
Been watching him since Mean Mark Callis, Mark Calloway days.
Yes.
When he was in the Skyscrapers with Dan Spivey and Sid Vicious. My
favorite Undertaker match of all time. There's been a lot of great ones, but we talked about his matches with Shawn Michaels earlier at WrestleMania. Those were top notch. All-time great. My favorite, though, was the first ever Hell in a Cell with him and Shawn Michaels. It was Kane debuted in this match. This was my Paul Bearer was so great. Kane is coming. Yeah. But that match is probably my favorite match to watch. Like, that's just one I could watch anytime. Those two were so great, and then Kane, the ending was great. One of my favorite debuts of all time.
Did he come up from the bottom of the ring then, or
no? It was.
He came out to the fire just out of nowhere, right? Is that? What
yeah, he ripped the door off of the cell, and that was great. You got a favorite Undertaker match?
Favorite Undertaker match? Man, there's been so many, dude.
He's had some good ones. He's had a lot of good ones.
He's had some good ones, dude. Someone's in there screaming. Hold on for a second. Can you hear all the noise that they're making in there?
It's like very far in the distance. I can't really.
Hold on for a second.
Okay. Well, while he's going, The Undertaker, obviously I said I saw his match with Triple H at that WrestleMania in Atlanta. That one was great. But the Undertaker match you mentioned earlier is where they had the little send off at the end with him and Triple H. That match that was a Hell in a Cell as well at a WrestleMania. That match was phenomenal. His match with CM Punk at WrestleMania was great. He's had so many good ones, man. So many good ones.
There's so many good matches. I'm going to go with my favorite moment of the Undertaker. His casket match loss to Yokozuna.
The spirit of the Undertaker.
And what happened at the end, that video package that we got at the end of that match with him ascending, and then he was out for months. But then when he came back, he had the addition to the music, and he had the purple on. Like, it was that was a really cool moment that went into the next portion of the Undertaker. It's probably my favorite Undertaker moment. It was the ending of the introduction, and then moving into like phase 2.
Yes, it was so like corny, but it was so. I mean, it was just when he like ascended into the heavens or whatever.
That was cool. Yeah.
Yes, that was really good. Okay, we're almost done with night one. That's a lot on
night one.
I know. We got 2 things left. I don't know how you make a prediction for this, but the KO show with Stone Cold, I'm ready to see Stone Cold. Like, there ain't nothing like that glass shattering, Stone Cold. I know people are upset that it's not an actual match. The way I see it, it would be the exact same thing. If they did a match, it would be the same thing as what they're going to do. It would be short. He'd hit him with a stunner and win. I think it's going to be exactly what you think it's going to be. I mean, he's going to come out there and get some what's and drink some beer and give him a stunner. Like, I don't think it's going to be anything. I think Kevin Owens has been great, in the.
Yeah, he's building this by himself. Like a lot like John Cena had to do a couple years ago with the Undertaker. Like he's doing a real and whatever Seth is doing too. Like you're doing a single cell on a match, like or a moment. That's really cool.
Yep. So I think with Stone Cold, he's gonna do his thing. He's gonna come out there and be Stone Cold, and everybody will like it.
He's gonna stop a mud hole and walk it dry.
Yeah. I only wish JR was there so we could hear Stone Cold, Stone Cold.
Yeah.
Last but not least, do you got anything else about Stone Cold?
No. Go on and get to this next part.
Seth freaking Rollins. He's got a new middle name. Seth freaking Rollins. First of all, we don't even know who he's facing.
Versus.
I will say whoever he's facing is going to win. Like, that would be the biggest buzzkill ever if they bring in somebody to face him and then Rollins beats him. But, obviously the leading suspect is Cody. Yeah. Everybody's, that's probably the safest bet.
That's what Dave Meltzer's saying, at least. So, yeah.
Which means it's probably not going to happen. But I think that's obviously, like, they've built it up so much with him. Which, how ridiculous is it? I'm sorry. We talked about earlier suspending disbelief. Seth Rollins can't find a path to WrestleMania. Are you kidding me? But
And then it's supposed to be just as simple. Like, why'd you jump through the hoops? Seth. We're friends. Why didn't you just come and talk to me? Oh, Vince, I didn't know I could just come and talk to you that way. It's like, what are y'all doing?
Yeah.
So what are you doing with this?
I actually kind of laughed when he went into Vince's office in that segment, and Vince was like, "Well, I don't know how you can imitate Vince right now." He's like, "Why did you jump through all those hoops? You could have just come to me." I'm like. I mean, how many times have we seen a WrestleMania match get made just because somebody comes out and is like, "Hey, I want to fight you," and then he could come out and call out anybody, like Apollo Crews, me and you. But anyway, I it's probably gonna be Cody. I mean, if it's not Cody, if it were to be, we talked about that. If it were to be Shane O'Mac, I mean, gosh,
that would be horrible.
Horrible.
That would be horrible if that.
It would be a horrible match. It would be a horrible, like, nobody wants to see that. The only thing worse, and God bless this guy, but if it were Goldberg or something.
No.
Like, oh God.
No.
It's gotta be. I think it's gotta be Cody. I just have no idea who else it would even. I mean, unless it's Veer. It could be Veer.
Veer has been coming since.
Yes.
Veer got called it by COVID. Like, we're still waiting.
Yeah.
Like,
literally.
Passport issues. Something's going on. Like,
hey, Luke Walker has a suggestion.
What does Luke say?
He said, "What about the Great Khali?" Can you imagine?
It wouldn't surprise me, dude. It would not surprise me.
And Barton says he's just glad it's not going to be Vicky Guerrero.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
It's Seth versus Vicky.
She's too busy with Nyla Rose trying to get that program with Thunder Rosa going. So.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna say it's gonna be Cody. I'll take the safe route. Yeah. I'll say it's gonna be Cody. I say Cody wins, and God only knows where Cody goes from here. You could. Well, I'll talk about that later. I don't want to spoil where I'm going later, but I say Cody wins. And if it's not Cody, I'll say it's Veer. And I say Veer will be ruined because everybody will be so upset that it's Veer.
You know my personal feelings about this. Yes. I do not want this to be Cody Rhodes. I am hoping and praying that somehow tonight for ROH, that some of the twist of the ROH
is their show tonight.
ROH's pay-per-view is tonight. I am hoping and praying that there is a twist tonight that Tony Khan has up his sleeve. That Cody didn't re-sign with us because he's the acting president of Ring.
Yeah.
So
I could see that.
I'm hoping that is what happens, but let's go with the hypothetical and what a lot of people believe is going to happen. Cody Rhodes, he has to win. He has to win.
I think it'd be, I mean, first it'd be a good match. I mean, Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes. That's a good match. I think Seth's been doing a lot of good stuff lately.
Yeah, but see, like, I know you don't want to talk about it now, so I'll give a little bit now with my thinking with just the booking and the buildup of Seth, having him basically lose his way to WrestleMania.
He did lose his way
to WrestleMania.
Yes.
So yeah, you bring Cody in, it's a big pop. But is it a big win, and where does it go storytelling wise? You beat a guy that everybody's beating right now, like from story. Yeah. And we know that WWE doesn't really care about the storytelling all that much, but it's like outside of the big pop, where does all of it go? Like, and we can talk about it later.
Cody. Okay, well, Cody wins. If it's, I'd say whoever it is going to beat him, but I'll say we're going with the hypothetical. I'll go Cody, and that's it for night one.
Night one. That's a wrap.
Let's take an intermission. No, I'm just kidding. Let's just go straight to night two.
You want to read from some of the chat, maybe? Do you have things
sure
over there?
I haven't even looked. Let me see.
Roy Mattis says, thanks for doing this. He thinks Seth being one of the WrestleMania moments that happens. He said that Seth will have a WrestleMania moment there. So Roy believes whatever happens, Seth will have his WrestleMania moment. And Jabbar Robbins said, what's up, guys? Shane McMahon is back. Here comes the money.
Here comes the money.
Here comes the money.
Oh man, I mean, it's on my channel. I did my reaction to every entrant live in the building, but when Shane came out, it's like nobody was even excited at the Rumble. When his music went off, everybody was like, "Oh God,
him again."
Yeah. Night two, AJ Styles versus Edge. Listen, I got to say this, Edge. I feel so good for this guy. He was gone for nearly a decade, and he's come back. Like, it's similar to kind of a CM Punk thing.
Yeah.
Punk was gone for so long, and now he's like on top of his game. Like, he's not just back, but he's good. He's really good. Edge is killing it, man. He is like. Now, I do hate the fact. Can you still see me?
Yeah, I can still see you.
Okay, my computer's acting weird. Okay, we should be good. All right, we're good. Edge, he got rid of his music, which I loved his music, but he's like this weird like purple light on him when he comes out there. Got a new hairstyle. He's like really like this sadistic freak of a character.
He's diving into
it. And you know what? Every time he comes out, now there are some people that can kind of have more freedom to cut promos in WWE. Roman and the New Day, usually Becky, and of all people, Brock Lesnar. Yeah. Now, but I think that Edge could like teach a class in promos. Oh, yeah. He is just so good. And then AJ, I'm glad to see AJ back as a singles. He's too good to, to be fooling around in the tag team.
Agreed.
He's great. Now, the build to this one's been good. Like, it hadn't been like, no pun intended, phenomenal, but I think Edge has been really good. I think AJ has not gotten enough time on the mic in the build up to this. But that being said, the odds of this being a good match are pretty good. I mean, these two, I'd say Edge has consistently delivered in all the big matches he's been in since he's been back. So I think this will be the same thing. We know AJ can go out there and put on a good match with anybody, especially Edge. I'm gonna say Edge wins. But this is one I can see going either way because there's a good chance Edge might be taking time off again.
Could be
after WrestleMania because he's on kind of part-time schedule. So I can see AJ kind of winning, and then Edge comes back later and they do a rematch or something.
It could go either way.
I'm flip-flopping. I'm going AJ. I'm going AJ.
You're going AJ.
I'm going with AJ.
Is this your final answer?
This is my final answer, Regis.
Do you need to call Emily? Do you need to phone a friend? Do you want to cancel?
I'm going to ask the audience. I'm going to ask the audience. Yeah. I'll go AJ.
AJ. Okay, cool. Formula One says, "Hey, thank you. I will check the Instagram later. I can't look. I'm really excited to see what that looks like." We also have Kofi in the chat over here. What's up, brother?
Uh-oh.
Kofi, what's up, brother? How are you? Roy Mattis also says, AJ, I'm with you too. I believe that Edge could take some time off. He's done a wonderful build to this with AJ's absence for a couple of weeks, selling the injury. We know that just from AJ's interviews that little moment that they had in the Royal Rumble where AJ tore his shoulder, dislocated his shoulder. They've been wanting to do this program for over a year now, for a long time now.
Yep.
I believe, hold on, Formula One said raise my mic. That's about all I can do is bring it a little bit closer. I believe AJ wins in a classic WrestleMania match that people will talk about for ages. I believe that it raises AJ's stock for storytelling for him to move on, maybe back into a title picture pretty soon. So, AJ.
Yep. Yep. I'm looking forward to this one. I'm looking forward to this match.
They're going to tear it up.
Yep. I hope we'll say, like, I know a lot of people are conflicted on how they feel about WrestleMania being 2 nights, but here is a situation where I'm glad it's 2 nights, because if you're going to have this many matches, I would rather you split it up into 2 nights, because if you put 14 matches on one show,
I'm tired. And I'm losing interest. I'm tired, and I can't.
Yes. And Age. So you put AJ and Edge out there in the middle of the show, and they put on a great match, and it's going to come up flat because nobody's going to care because they're going to be asleep.
Exactly.
So I'm glad. In this case, I'm glad it's 7-7. You get 2 different shows, kind of. I like that.
One more thing about it too. We've had kind of a comedic version of AJ as he was doing his heel promo with Omas. He gets to go back to being what he's known for, that underdog, the pit bull.
Yep.
He gets to go back to being what everybody loves AJ Styles for. And I hate that WWE has kind of watered that down. But for tonight, we should see the real AJ Styles, the actual phenomenal AJ Styles.
Yeah. Luke Walker has a great question. If it were to happen, who would win in a match? The Rock or the Great Khali? Listen.
Satnam Singh. Shout out to my man Satnam Singh.
I'm going to have to go The Rock in that scenario.
The Rock 100%.
In a squash. Now, AJ versus Edge, probably going to be the match of the night, but this is the only one that I think could top it. Omas versus Bobby Lashley. This one...
You can't even get your April Fool's joke out before you can't even get it all the way out before you're laughing about it. I'm gonna go Lashley. I still like Bobby Lashley. He is just such a specimen, and I've liked that he's gotten a push the last couple of years. I'm glad to see him in that main event picture. He's randomly a babyface now. This is how WWE turns people. They just show up one night and they're a different character. Yeah, they're good.
I guess Lashley's going to win. I mean, Omas has just been running through everybody on Raw. So, I mean, WrestleMania, this would be the place where Lashley, like, body slams him and spears him and beats him. And I'll go Lashley. It's his first match back since being injured. So, which makes me think, shouldn't Lashley, like, have a legitimate gripe about wanting a title match? Because, like, he never lost the title. He got hurt which he was legitimately hurt, but he got taken out of the chamber. He was hurt and didn't even get a chance to be in it.
Yeah.
So shouldn't he, like, be less concerned with Omas and more concerned with, like, whoever wins the Brock Roman match? Or
he should.
I don't know.
He should, but that's that WWE storytelling for you.
Yeah, he just forgot about it. I don't know.
I agree with the feel-good moment of where you were coming from with how you feel like it should go. I feel it should go that way too. However, Jabbar brings a different approach to this match. Jabbar's approach on this says he believes that Omos will win and MVP will turn on Bobby.
Oh, See, I hope they don't do that because I think Lashley needs the mouthpiece. I think MVP is a much stronger promo than Lashley.
He definitely is.
I like those two together. So I hope, but Omas is not a great promo either. So he could use some help as well.
Yeah. So I can see how it goes that way with what Jabbar said. You know what? I will go with Jabbar here. I believe Omos will win. I'm not sure if it's going to be in that. Yeah, I will go with exactly with what he said. Thank you so much, Jabbar.
Gosh, my wife just scared me to death back here. I didn't know she was here. She just opened this door. Oh, you know what, Dennis? We're gonna take a break from the predictions to have a little appearance.
It's the baby. What's going on?
He's about to take his nap.
This is Roman.
Almost napped.
Who do you think he's named after? Don't bite me. See, he's trying to bite me right now.
He's the head of the table.
And you know what? I don't know if he's the head of the table, but he wants to be acknowledged.
He wants
you don't
to be
have
acknowledged.
You don't have to worry about that. Like every second of the day, he's like, acknowledge me. See you, buddy.
It's nap time.
It's nap time. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord for that.
Ooh-ah.
Yes. Okay. So I got Lashley. You got Omas.
I got Omas.
With the MVP turn.
With the MVP turn. So yes.
All right. I'm going to get on my soapbox a little bit on this next one. All right.
Okay. Get it ready.
But before I do, Kazuo the Great says, who do you find more entertaining, the new wrestlers or the old school wrestlers? It depends, because the old school wrestlers, you know, the promos felt more genuine, but I feel like the in-ring talent today is like unlike anything we've ever seen, you know?
And I know this is a WrestleMania prediction show, and that's why I hate to bring it up in the WWE thing that we're talking about. That's why I love AEW, because I feel you get more off-scripted old school promo and
I do like that,
and longer storytelling, and I believe that the in-ring work is just out. It's just insane. So that's why I'm an AEW guy.
You want to know? I'm both. I go, which is ironically the same way I was with the Monday Night War. I watched both. Yeah. But you don't even know who's a great promo.
Who has a
Maxwell Jacob Friedman.
MJ,
that guy.
He's the best heel. Woo! He is the best heel in sports entertainment and wrestling, hands down right now. I love that guy.
Barton says, if in the near future Cody Rhodes became the WWE champion, would you want to see him go against the AEW champion? Now, I don't know how that would even be possible. I mean, you talk about the forbidden door.
Yeah.
But that would be a neat storyline. That would be an all-time storyline.
That would be an all-time story. How do you even – the only way you can book that is if one company buys the other. There's no way that either company would want their champion to come out looking –
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And Barton also said if they did that, the AEW champion could say to Cody in a promo – this is a great line – he could say to Cody in a promo, you made AEW, but you didn't make AEW great.
Okay. That's
Yikers. Okay, this is my soapbox moment right here. All right.
Soapbox, let's go.
This next match is a women's tag match for the women's tag team titles, okay? Let me try to cram all these names in here. So the champions are Zelina and Carmella. They got a fallout going on too. Like, that's all WWE knows how to do. They put teams together and break them up. That's like their thing. They put team together for a few weeks and they're like, well, I guess we should break them up.
That is not an iconic way to look at things.
Or they just fire them. Yeah. So you got Zelina and Carmella, who, you know, whatever. They weren't doing anything as singles, so sure, put them together. It's great.
It's been working. It's okay. It's been working.
Yeah. So you got them. They're the champions. They're defending against Naomi and Sasha Banks, a team that they just threw together a few weeks ago. The team of Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan, a team that they just threw together a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And the team of Natalya and Shayna Baszler, who they just threw together a few weeks ago. Now, I got a problem with none of these. These ladies are very talented. They're very great. I'm glad. I mean, Sasha especially. She's incredible.
She's the boss.
Shayna's great. Like, I got a problem with none of them. Here's what I have a problem with. When you just throw teams together like this, just whatever, you only got nothing to do, team up and go for titles. Okay, that just cheapens the titles.
It does.
Completely makes the title seem worthless. which of course I forgot they even had women's tag titles because they never even featured them. Also, is it that hard? Do y'all not have enough women? They got a lot of women on this show. Could you not have formed these teams a couple months ago, kind of build them up to make me care about them? None of these girls been doing anything for months. Natalia, she ain't done nothing in months. She could have been teaming with Shayna months ago.
Agreed.
To build up to this. So you just throw them together. I get it. You want to get everybody on the show. You want to get as many people on the show as you can. I understand that. But and also you had a women's tag team that actually was known as a team in the Iconics. Like you said, you fired them.
Yeah.
But I just don't how am I supposed to care about these teams when they were just thrown together within the last few weeks
for this match, just for purposes
for this match. When this match is over, whichever teams don't win are going to split up. And that's another thing. You mentioned it. The only team in this match with any credibility is Zelina and Carmella because they've been a team for a little while. They at least have they have been a team for a little bit. And they're going to break them up.
Yeah,
they're already getting to breaking them up. Why do we have to break up? I remember when they broke up the Hurt Business. Cedric Alexander, Shelton Benjamin, they split them off, broke them up. I was like, why?
Why?
What are you going to do with them now? They were at least with Lashley and the Hurt Business, they were on the show. They were they had a spot on the show. Now they're just going to be forgotten about. I just hate throwing together teams like this. I don't mind creating teams with the idea of getting more people on the show, but you could have Naomi and Sasha just walked out there and were hey, we're a team and we're going for the titles.
I agree with everything that you have said, my man. And they're doing all this for the sake of a title that they don't really feature. And the last time that I looked at the match, maybe they've made changes. Maybe you have a more updated list. Are the IC belt or the US belts even being?
No,
they're not even. They're not even.
The IC belt. The IC belt has not been defended on pay-per-view since WrestleMania last year.
And Finn Balor has just been thrown into the abyss of nothing with the US
and
titles.
And the mid card titles are being held currently by really good Ricochet and Finn Balor.
How do you not have them on your card? But we gotta stack up these tag teams on the women's tag team title.
You know what you could do? What would be great?
What?
You could do Finn Balor versus Ricochet in a unification match and call it a Razor Ramon tribute ladder match. This is the Razor Ramon IC title tribute ladder match in honor of him who just passed away a week ago.
Look at you. Look at you, head booker.
Well, yeah, and then unify the belts, and that takes one of the belts away. So then you have they got too many belts, so that would take a belt away. You have one mid card champion who can jump. Forth. Yes, and Ricochet versus Finn Balor in a ladder match would be fantastic.
That's insane. That would be insane. But they're not.
But instead, neither one of us on the show.
Yeah, neither one of us on the show. But we get this tag match. Jabbar believes that Zelina Carmella will retain, but the following night on Monday Night Raw, Lita and Trish show up, challenge, win the belt.
Hey, I gotta say this: Lita looked awesome in her match she had in Saudi.
She did.
She looked good.
She did.
I think they do need to bring Lita back for a match down the road. I don't know if Trish has been jibber jabbering with Becky
a little bit.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I don't know. I'm gonna say Zelina and Carmella drop the belts because they're gonna break them up.
To who?
So. Take your pick. It's not going to be Natalya and Shayna because I feel like nobody cares about them.
I say Naomi and Sasha.
I can say Naomi just because Sasha is the biggest star in this match by far.
Yeah.
You go with them. I think they see probably some upside in Rhea Ripley. So, they could put it on them.
They were pushing Liv for a minute too. So
for a literal minute.
They should have kept on with that because she was doing really good. Liv was doing really good.
I'm going to say Rhea and Liv. I'm going to say Rhea and Liv win the belts.
I will say that you go Rhea, Liv. I'm going to go Sasha, Naomi.
That's my second pick.
Roy says Rhea and Liv also.
Okay. Now, this is a match I think has surprised some people right here. I'm serious.
You serious?
I think this match could really have people talking the day after. Sami Zayn, Johnny Knoxville, anything goes. Johnny Knoxville. Now that has me worried. You put Johnny Knoxville, anything goes. This guy's gonna jump off the roof.
Yeah.
I do want to say that Sami Zayn's been great. He is a rare talent. I think that's a guy that needs to be pushed into main title because he knocks it out of the park every time. Whatever they give him to do,
he does.
You want to talk about making the money? He's awesome. I love him.
He's the ultimate utility player. He is whatever they need him to be.
Yes, I'm trying to think of somebody to compare him to, like a DDP in WCW. How he could just like do anything, like put him in a mid card, put him in the main event, put him in put him with Dennis Rodman and Karl Malone.
Ricky Steamboat used to be that way back in the day. Ricky Steamboat. He could be whatever you wanted him to be.
Yep. I like Johnny. I think Johnny Knoxville's been. The Royal Rumble. Johnny Knoxville got a legitimate like pop when he came out there because everybody knows that guitar riff from their movies, you know. So like, yeah. So people, and anything goes. Like I'm actually intrigued because I don't know if they don't like set him, like, electrocute him or something. I don't know. I think Sam. I wish Sammy would win because I know Johnny Knoxville's going to go away afterwards. I feel like Johnny Knoxville's going to win because it's just that seems like what they would do with Sami Zayn is have him lose and give him
something else to kind of about the heat.
Yeah. I'm going to say Johnny Knoxville wins by doing something absurd. I don't know what he's going to do, but I think this match is going to have, I think it'll have people talking. Of all the celebrity matches, I think this one will have people talking because I think Johnny Knoxville will do anything. We know that. I say Johnny wins. And I would rather Sammy win, but I'm going to say Johnny Knoxville wins.
I say Johnny wins, but he'll probably have some help from some of his guys. Like I could see, like Steve-O and some of these other people because if anything goes in an anything goes match, there's no DQ too, so he could have some people to show up and help him out and just make it be a big old old thing. So
you know what would be awesome?
What would be
who's the member of their crew that like they don't get along with anymore? That
is it Bam?
Bam, he's been really. Now I don't know if he got clean. I hope he's clean, but dude, can you imagine if he came out and helped Johnny win? Like that would be awesome.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, that's not happening, but
definitely not.
So who you got winning this thing?
I got Johnny Knoxville winning it with him doing something crazy and maybe an assist from some of the Jackass crew.
Yeah. I agree. What's next? Oh my gosh. On the same show where they got that 4-way tag match with like everybody in it, they also have a triple threat men's tag match. This is RK Bro, who I think is very entertaining. RK Bro defending the titles against the Street Profits, also against the Alpha Academy. Now I gotta say, I hope they don't break Randy Orton and Riddle up anytime soon because the dynamic between these two, I think, is hilarious. I find these two together to be entertaining. I
didn't like it at first, but it has grown on me.
Yes, it's a very different side of Randy Orton than what we've seen in the past. Street Profits, they're solid. I like Street Profits. Now, I don't know. The last couple of weeks, they seem like heels. I don't know. It's like I said, they just tell them to go out there and be heels tonight. Yeah. I don't know.
So somebody has to be the aggressor.
Yes, but I thought Alpha Academy. I think they're supposed to be heels.
I think they're probably the heel. I think you have a face, a heel, and a tween.
Yeah. Now I wish they had made a better effort to make it clear that the Street Profits were not total. They're a little in the gray here.
Because although when they issued the thing, they go so far to even do a handshake though. So they did the handshake. So they did a little bit of look. We want to step up and like face you guys, but we do it with respect. So that's that kind of
right.
It's that tweenish thing. So.
Now, you mentioned how you didn't like RK Bro at first, and then they grew on you. That's how I was with the Alpha Academy. When they put Gable and Otis together, I was like, this is stupid.
Yeah.
But now I'm thrilled that Chad Gable is getting a push on the show in some form because he's great. And he reminds me a lot of Kurt Angle. I know that's an easy comparison, but he's got the comedy. He's a great in-ring guy. I feel like they haven't gotten enough attention in the build to this. I feel like it's been all about the Street Profits and the RK Bro. So Alpha Academy is probably not going to win. I wish they would win. But best bet would be that RK Bro retains because, I mean, you know, with WWE, I mean, RK Bro is over. And I think when they know they've got an act that's over, they just push them to the moon. So I'm going to say RK Bro retains here. But I wish Alpha Academy would win because Chad Gable is awesome. But RK Bro. I got RK Bro.
Jabbar Robbins agrees with you. He believes RK Bro will retain. So does Roy. He agrees with you also. I'm going Alpha Academy on this simply because they have been a little absent in the build up to it. Like you stated, it would be easy to go. It would be easy to go Street Profits win this, but because they're the ones that kind of were the aggressor, I'm going Alpha Academy on this, giving Chad and Otis that WrestleMania moment because the belts, Randy and Riddle don't need the belts. They can still they can keep going. I think putting the belts on Gable and Otis will give them a little bit more. It will. I hope you're right. I hope they give it to Gable and Otis. I think they'll put the strap on them.
My buddy David Hall, who was a groomsman in my wedding, if this is the same David Hall, he said he thinks that Knoxville will, this is going back to the match before, he thinks Johnny Knoxville will win with help from whoever is going to be Sami Zayn's next feud. I don't know who that would be. I don't know. I'm trying to think. Maybe it'd be Ricochet. Maybe that's how the Intercontinental Champion will get on the show. He'll help Johnny Knoxville win. But I don't know. Damian Priest is not on the show.
He's not on the show either, yeah.
Dang. Could put him against Finn Balor, but who cares?
Not WWE.
So, yeah. So you got Alpha Academy.
I got Academy winning.
I got RK Bro. Okay. Pat McAfee, Austin Theory. I love Pat McAfee, man. Not just because of wrestling. Not just because of the wrestling aspect. I think, like, in the sports media world, Pat McAfee is like living the dream right now.
Oh, he
gets set around all day, talk about sports, and then call SmackDown every Friday. Come on, man. And then get a match at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I don't know how this is going to go because McAfee, we know he can have a great match, because he had the match with Adam Cole, baby, at the NXT thing, and it was really, like, surprised a lot of people. I don't see the merit. I mean, I think they want to do something with Austin Theory. I don't see the merit in Pat McAfee winning because he's just going to go back to the announce table, I guess. But they could continue this feud. I mean, because McAfee's going to be around. I'm going to go Austin Theory here.
I think this will be one of those screwy finishes where it doesn't hurt either one of them. I see them maybe going outside the ring, brawling to the back, double count out kind of deal. I feel like every pay-per-view has to have that one screwy kind of finish. I think this one's it. I think it's like a double count out or something like that. Draw. They both lose. They both win.
Yeah. Okay. I see that. Do you think maybe Vince gets involved in the finish because he's like Austin Theory's his boy?
Maybe.
Gosh.
I don't know. I don't know. Would they go so far to do another screw job?
Oh, God.
Maybe not for something of that. I don't know. I just feel like I know that that's probably not my opinion. It's probably not a popular one. A lot of people are saying Pat easy.
Really?
Yeah, like people are saying Pat McAfee easy. I don't.
Hey, Pat McAfee's. I don't know if you saw this a couple weeks ago. He's a great promo. Great promo on SmackDown. He comes across as a very genuine, sincere person, like a normal human being, and not like he's reading a script. I want to say real quick, this David Hall that commented on here was not a groomsman in my wedding. This David is from Scotland. What are the odds? Thanks thank you for watching, David Hall, and thank you for your prediction about Johnny Knoxville.
I don't know.
So
I just feel like this is going to be one of those screwy ones where there's not a definitive winner, and they can kind of keep this going a little bit more, and then maybe do another match where somebody actually wins. I feel like this could be that screwy double count out kind of thing to happen sometimes.
There's always got to be at least one.
And I think this is the one that's probably going to be it.
Yeah. So
I'm going double count out. They both draw.
Okay.
Like
well, we only got one match left, Dennis, and this is the biggest match that's ever happened in the history of space and time. The biggest match that anybody's ever seen and ever will see.
Again, we're doing it again.
Yes,
because we're pretending like this has never happened before.
I know. It is Roman Reigns. It is Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, champion versus champion.
Who?
Unification, title for title, biggest match of all time, greatest thing you've ever seen.
I didn't hear it. Who'd you say was in it?
It is Roman Derek Reigns against Brock Lamar Lesnar. I don't know if that's not their middle names. I don't know what their middle names are.
Is it your tribal chief?
It is the head of the table against the
beast
incarnate. I couldn't think of what they call him.
Brock Lesnar.
Yes. Now here we go.
Okay.
So there's a lot of elements to this. Okay. Yeah. They've had two main events before. Yeah. One of them was really good with the Rollins run in. One of them I was there for live, and it was Beach Ball Mania because nobody cared.
Yeah.
Now, this has definitely been built up like $1 million. They have pulled out all the stops for this one. Okay. This definitely feels like finally the time where people actually want to see this. Okay. And what do you know, after all those years of people saying, man, you only turn Roman heel, and they wouldn't do it. They finally did. And now the guy is like the biggest star they've had in God only knows how long.
Yeah.
I am really into this Roman Reigns thing right now. I think he has been he is one act in this company that I think you could put him in any era and he would have been top. He would have been a top guy. I think you put him in the Attitude Era, he would have been right there in the middle of everything.
Where he is
I
now,
think, yes, he is everything they wanted him to be, finally. He finally is. And Brock Lesnar as a babyface, Brock Lesnar cutting his own promos, Brock Lesnar in a cowboy hat.
His appearance change, his total appearance change, yes.
Yes, and it's like the most different Brock Lesnar we've ever seen, and I think it works. Like, of all things,
it works. It's crazy.
It works. Did you see him the other night? He on Raw. He started off the show with a promo, and you could tell they don't give a script to this guy. They try to probably give him bullet points of please try not to get too far off. He comes out there, and the fans were doing the what chants at him, and it was like. It was throwing him off so bad. He was like, he kept stopping. He was like, yeah, Steve's going to be there this weekend, like getting off topic.
Yeah.
They're like, he's like, yeah, I know. Please stop. Stone Cold's going to be around. But, his promos, Brock's promos are just like his in-ring style. You never know quite what's going to happen. And he may actually hurt somebody. I mean, he's good at what he does. He's good at throwing dudes around, and I don't know what's going to happen here. I don't know, because whoever wins is walking out with 2 belts.
They're supposed to be unifying it for now,
which I think would be a smart thing because, like I said, they got too many belts. Mm-hmm. I like having one world champion.
Agreed.
I think ultimately they'll probably split them up again and whatever.
They're supposed to. I think they're supposed to be calling it the undisputed Universal Champion.
Which would be fine. Whatever. Man, I don't know, because I was thinking if Brock doesn't win this thing, like, who's ever going to beat Roman Reigns, because he's beating everybody. But the more I think about it, they could. I think ultimately they're going to try to do Roman Reigns and The Rock at WrestleMania next year. I think they're going to try to do that. I think that's the only way The Rock would come back and do a match, unless it's against a great Khali, like this guy in the chat said earlier.
No.
I think, but I was like, who do you even bother putting Roman against for the next year? Well,
Cody.
They could put him against Cody. They could put him, and he's going to beat Cody, but they could put him against Cody. They could put him against Bobby Lashley. I feel like he hasn't really wrestled Lashley in this run. They could move Lashley over there, put him against him. They could put him against Drew McIntyre because I think they're going to. So there's 3 feuds that you could go with, and not to mention you
build AJ back up if you
build AJ back up. You could, try and get something else out of him and Rollins. You could try to. Kevin Owens, you could flip-flop him, put him over there, whatever. They could get through another year.
Yeah.
And, Lesnar, he's been around a lot, so I feel like he's due to kind of go away again till SummerSlam, where you can do Lesnar and Reigns again, if you want to. I say Roman wins. I'm going to say Roman probably wins with help from the Usos, help from Heyman. I say Roman. I think they're just going to keep this thing going. I think he wins again. Takes both belts, and I think there's a chance he might just hold the belt till another year. They could just. We're getting over into like Bruno Sammartino range right now of like title runs, like a long title run. He hasn't been beaten since like 2019, which is crazy.
Like that is legit Hogan-esque because he went. I think he had the belt 3.5 years before he dropped it. So
yeah, it's insanity.
Yeah.
So I must say Roman. I think they got more stock in Roman because he's full time. Brock's gonna be fine whenever Lesnar come in and do his thing.
Brock is Brock. Yep.
Yeah, anytime.
I agree.
I go with Roman.
I'm going Roman Reigns too, but I don't think this one will be a screwy finish. I think they will try to make it a screwy finish, but I think in the end, with maybe what the Usos try to do or Paul Heyman try to do, I believe in the end all that gets cleared out and Roman wins legit with no one does anything to Brock to like soften him up. Like he will probably clear the ring of anybody that shows up, and then Roman will beat him just straight up.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I don't think it'll be a thing where like the Usos hit their move on Lesnar and then Roman pins him. I think it'll be they get involved, and Brock's got to get rid of them, and then he turns around and do a spear, and then he kicks out. So Roman has to. Roman hits him with another spear and another spear and another spear, and finally he beats him. Something like that.
Yeah, it'll go so far to where maybe he'll try to like Brock will get him up in an F5, and somehow, some way, when he goes to throw him, he'll throw him up high, and I could see like a Superman punch coming out of that. That would be good. Like whoever, like once you're in the F5, like you take it. Like I don't think I've ever seen anybody get thrown and find a way to get out of it. But they could figure out a way to throw him up high enough to where he could do a Superman punch out of it. But I think in the end, Roman wins clean with hitting his moves and he holds the belts for probably another year. I agree with everything you said there.
One thing I am interested to see is what can they do to make it different than their last two, because their last two, the first one was, they were just beating the crap out of each other before Rollins came in. And then it felt like at the next match they had, they kind of did the same thing. They just suplex F5, spear, Superman punch. I'll be interested to see what can they do with this one to make it different than those. Because, Brock's only going to do – he's got like, I hope he don't try to do the shooting star press like he did against Kurt Angle at the time. Nearly killed himself. But I'm interested to see that. And once again, this matches like this, because this is a rare thing in WWE where they've got something that's like, this is a big match. Okay, this like they don't have many of these. So I am glad once again that it's 2 nights, because if they did it all in one show, people would be completely dead.
Yeah.
Because it's going on last, I'm interested to see how it goes. I think Roman just beats him, and you can always bring back Lesnar later and let him do kind of a rematch at SummerSlam or something, and maybe Roman can hold both belts till SummerSlam, and then Lesnar wins one of the belts back.
Something,
at SummerSlam. Although I would hate that because I think like if Roman's going to be unbeaten and dominant, then let him be. Like I don't want to see anybody get a roll up or I just want to see him
because just
when he finally gets beaten, I want it to be a big deal. You know?
Yeah, it needs to be a big. Put somebody over big, like it needs to be a Hogan putting over the Warrior. It needs to be a Ric Flair after like 4 meetings finally letting Sting win.
Yeah.
It needs to be something big that's going to shoot someone into the stratosphere.
Yep.
Roy's asking here, do we think the brand split will end? I don't believe so because they have contracts with 2 different networks. So
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on.
Where'd you go?
I'm coming back.
Boom. The lights went out. Oh, is that going to happen are the lights going to go out at the end of WrestleMania?
Dang it.
What is
Hold on. Just hold on with me here.
Okay, now I'm trying to sell. Oh, no. I'm trying to sell a program by myself now. So
are we back? Okay.
You're back.
This camera's weird sometimes.
You're back.
But we're good. So I guess we both got Roman, and I think that, like you said, the Flair Sting thing was a good comparison because, I think whoever beats Roman eventually. But here's the thing, though. I mean, if they do a year of Roman again to get to The Rock at WrestleMania next year, I mean, The Rock don't need to beat him. Like
The Rock don't need to be. You will have.
That's a waste.
You'll have a huge match, but yes, it will be a throwaway to let The Rock beat him again.
I mean, do you think maybe they could have somebody beat Roman at some point this year, and then Roman win the belt back to get to The Rock?
Cena.
He'd lose to Cena. I was thinking like, do you think he could lose to like Drew McIntyre at some point this year? And then, because I mean, I think if there's any current full-time person they'd feel confident in beating Roman, it would probably be Drew McIntyre.
What's Steiner's son's name? Rick Steiner.
Oh, now that would be something. What's his name?
I forgot his name.
Braun
Breaker.
Yeah.
Now
that would be interesting.
That's who you can push to the next level because
I think they got high hopes for him.
He had the NXT strap, but then he dropped it to Ziggler. Which that's kind of different with Dolph Ziggler being the NXT champion right now.
I'm so sorry to these people that I've missed their comments, but Daniel Madsen says he is going to be there.
What?
This weekend, and he hopes The Rock is there because he wants to see The Rock live. I don't know if The Rock's going to be there this weekend, but that's awesome that you're going to be at WrestleMania, man.
Daniel Madsen, he said something earlier on mine too. He said something about he hopes that Snoop Dogg is there to do Sasha's entrance.
Hey, he's done it before.
Yeah. I agree, Jabbar. Jabbar says that Braun Breaker is too green right now. Agreed, but by the time maybe next year's WrestleMania rolls around,
right?
Yeah, and you give
or
Roman,
maybe even like a SummerSlam Survivor Series, a little later on this year, give him a little more time to be on the main roster. But either way, I think you're looking at Roman Reigns because I mean, if Brock were to beat him, I don't know where you go from because now you're just back to. I mean, I think Brock Lesnar's been great as the babyface, cutting his own promos, but
he's been champion too much for too long.
Yeah, he don't need it. I mean, he's Brock Lesnar. I think you could put him into a storyline with somebody else that's not for the title. I mean, he could go against. Well, he could probably go against Lashley again. He could go against a number of guys. So,
do you see any surprises happening at the end of the night, or does it just go off with Roman celebrating?
I don't know what it would be. I mean, unless like they said, unless The Rock goes ahead and shows up just to go ahead and hype up. But I don't know. I mean, if you can do a year-long build. I mean, I don't know. They did it with Rock and Cena that time where they could. I mean, that would be something I could see. I wish they would. Now, this may be like a Raw after WrestleMania type thing. I wish they would give Triple H a segment to come out and just formally retire. Maybe. Instead of just retiring on the Stephen A. Smith show. Yeah. I think he's kind of earned the right to get his flowers, which he'll probably go in the Hall of Fame next year. So, but yeah, I mean, there's they could do something with the Undertaker because he's already going to be there for the Hall of Fame. They could have him. Maybe we get Bray Wyatt, making a big return.
What if he would be the person that came back and. What if he would be the person that came back and was Seth Rollins' opponent? That would also be just a crazy WrestleMania moment. And what if they saved Cody for, the night after WrestleMania where, Roman Reigns says, I've beaten everybody, I've beaten this, and then, Cody Rhodes goes out on the Monday night after Raw.
You could do that. I could see, I mean, if it were to be like The Fiend facing Rollins, I think that would be a replacement that wouldn't upset people.
Because I think... No, it was, my bad, it was Randy Orton that set him on fire.
Oh my God. Yeah. I've tried to forget about that.
I was trying to figure out, hold on, wasn't it Seth Rollins that got DQ'd in a
Hell in a Cell
match? So I mean,
horrible, all-time horrible.
Roy Mattis believes it could be Veer. He said, "What about Veer?" You said that earlier. So
I don't know. I mean, I've seen them try to do this Veer type gimmick with guys before, and it's never kind of who made it work. Was similar gimmick was Umaga. Remember Umaga?
Umaga, wow. You went a long ways back.
Yeah. But anyway, I guess, that's the WrestleMania prediction show right there. That was an hour, hour 21.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm interested. I mean, I think that in terms of build, this has probably been one of their better efforts over the last few years. I mean, Reigns and Lesnar, they've done a good job. I think Becky and Bianca's been nice. Mm-hmm. Anything there's some matches I don't care about, like the Kofi and Xavier against Ridge Holland and Sheamus. I don't really care about that. I don't care about Corbin and Drew, but for the most part, there's it'll be an interesting show. It'll be I feel like WrestleMania. How colleges they have the homecoming game where everybody comes back for the homecoming game. I feel like WrestleMania is like the homecoming game. Everybody comes back. They may not watch the rest of the year, but they come back for WrestleMania.
I mean that's me. I will a lot of times I will not watch the Raw or the SmackDown, but I will watch highlight shows that kind of highlight and cap off the program. I will watch your Wrestle Talk and your What Culture, Simon Miller, ups and downs and things like that. So I try to stay in the loop best I can with those things when I don't actually watch it. But for WrestleMania, I'm here for WrestleMania.
Oh yeah, you can't. I mean, WrestleMania, it's the Super Bowl of wrestling. It's like. Now I do miss the days when WrestleMania was big because of it had all the biggest matches and the payoff to the biggest storylines. Now I feel like the matches are big because they're on WrestleMania. WrestleMania is the attraction and not the
card,
not the performers. Yeah. But either way, it's WrestleMania. It's who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? Who knows what's going to happen at WrestleMania? Either way, I reckon I'm going to go get me some lunch, man.
You going to get some lunch?
I reckon I'm gonna watch. Well, there's a lot of wrestling on tonight. The ROH show, SmackDown, the Hall of Fame,
Rampage. There's all kinds
of Rampage. I might have to check out the Undertaker's Hall of Fame speech. That's something because he's never attended the Hall of Fame. He's attended, but he hasn't been out in the because they had to maintain his character.
Yeah. He has stayed kayfabe pretty much his entire career.
Not anymore, though, dude. He is going all out with not being kayfabe no more. Which I mean,
he's Mark
Calvin. Go ahead.
Yeah. He's earned it.
Yep. Who's that? Oh, it's Vince. And Vince is inducting him, right?
And I believe he comes out actually not being, he's not going to come out being, because they're inducted under their stage names, but he's going to come out and be himself, and I can't wait to I can't wait to see him be himself. And he's an emotional guy. He's a born again Christian now too. Is
that not crazy? I didn't know that until recently. I saw. I mean, my gosh, if the Lord can save the Undertaker,
it's going to be really awesome to see. He's going to get choked up, and he's going to let us see him for the first time in a long time, like in a WWE platform like that. And I'm all about that. I can't wait to see what he does. He's going to give a great speech. I can't wait.
Yeah. Now, did you see? We just keep going on here, but do you ever watch the Broken Skull Sessions, the Steve Austin podcast? It's not. I mean, it's a podcast, but it's more like he just interviews people on He had the Undertaker on for that, and they drank a little too much whiskey, I think.
They did.
By the end, they were I don't know what they were talking about, but it is very interesting to see the Undertaker kind of out of character, and because he's got a lot of stories to tell that nobody knows because he hadn't done any interviews or anything over the last how many years. So,
and he was that guy in the locker room too. He was the leader in the locker room. He's the one who raised the bar and set the standard. You were in Undertaker's locker room back in those days.
Yep. He held court.
He did wrestling court.
Yep. The Undertaker, man, going in tonight along with Vader. Sharmell, that was the one I forgot. Queen Sharmell. With her husband, King Booker.
Can you dig it, sucker?
5 times. Actually, 6 times now, I think. I don't know.
I don't know how many times he held the strap. Are we talking about just WWE? Because he had it in TNA too. Impact.
Yeah.
So I don't know how many times he actually held the belt.
Dude, that era of TNA don't count for nothing. I'm sorry. Any show that was run by Dixie Carter and Vince Russo don't have any credibility to me.
I did enjoy the era of the Main Event Mafia though. I thought that was
they were good. They had good, and it's a shame that they had such a great roster.
Yeah, they did
back then. AJ, Samoa Joe, they had so many.
Sting is the businessman heel character. That was ridiculous. Yeah. That was good.
Dude, can we just talk about Sting in AEW jumping out of the freaking stands through tables? That warms my heart, man. I love Sting so much.
He's amazing, dude.
To see him, he looks great. He looks great.
63 years old. He just had a birthday, and he's jumping off
and killing it.
Jumping off the entranceways, and they're taking good care of him. I love it when he takes a chair shot, or a table shot, and he no-sells it and does his thing.
Oh, dude, that's that takes me. I literally, my favorite storyline maybe ever was the Crow against the NWO when he was in the stands pointing the bat at him. A year long they built that up and then screwed it up at the end. But
the Star
either way.
Yeah, and that was awesome. Yeah. Bret Hart's entrance, Sting's return, and you screw it up. How do you do that?
That seems unfathomable, but they did it. Who else but WCW? All right, let's end this thing. I gotta go get some lunch. Right, thank you guys for hanging out with us. On both of our channels.
Agreed. Thank you so much.
Just we talk about wrestling. And
we have to do this. We have to do this more often.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. I don't know if it's something where we start another channel or we just try to feature it on our own, because I know a lot of people on our channels are, wanting to see the music content, so it may swap it up a little bit, but either way, thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you soon. Bye, everybody.
Thank you, guys.